So I had a person in my YouTube comment section ask me a question about my thought process and like my systematic approach to getting good and how refreshing it is to see someone like kind of going through the thought process of like, oh, this is the problem. Let me go solve it. And then solving it and then addressing the issue. Uh, you know, my content is geared toward, well, for Tekken, I'm not high level in Tekken at all. Not even close. If anything, I'm like right in the middle, intermediate, apparently, given where my rank is in the distribution of things. Which means a lot, apparently, because I'm not playing Tekken very well. Still, I'm barely playing Tekken. So if this is the average skill level of Tekken player, most people aren't playing Tekken. This is wild to me. But I guess that's the case in most games. Like most people aren't playing Virtual Fighter either. So that's not like a knock on the community or anything. It's just most players aren't playing the actual game. It's only the best that are playing the real game. The real game for everybody else is what we're doing right now. And the way you go from not playing the game to really playing the game is incrementally really attending to, if you want to be doing it quickly, I should say that. You want to get to it quickly. If you want to spend like a long ass time figuring things out, then by all means just, play the game a lot and you'll figure it out maybe, potentially. But you're putting a lot of chance up for not getting better because there are many players who spend a long time playing these games and they don't get any better. So if you want to get better, you have to do certain things other than just playing. You have to think about the game. You have to think about why you lost. And your answer can't just be, I didn't adapt well enough. That's not good enough. You need a better answer than that. What exactly did you not adapt to? What could you have done to have adapted to that better once you had realized that you weren't adapting well enough? And how could you figure that out in the future when it comes again? Those are the things, incrementally, that's the thought process that every top player goes through. They may not do it on purpose. They may intuitively just kind of know, but that's what every top player does. Why we all speak the same language. Why we can tell when another player is really good or has potential to be good. Because we can tell by how they're handling and addressing problems. We like each other because we all kind of speak the same lingo. Even when we're not in the same game, you know when someone else is good. You know when someone else has the potential to be good because they're approaching problems really directly and systematically. And they're adapting and making adjustments. So it's not just identifying the problem, it's also making the adjustment once you've identified what the problem is and you figured out, okay, this is what I must do to address this hole or gap in my play. Let me read your chat. One of the things is also that Tekken 8 is different from Tekken 7 in a lot of ways. So even people that are playing Tekken are playing the wrong Tekken. That too. I'm adapting my mindset a lot from Tekken 7 to Tekken 8's playstyle. Yeah, you need to study the reasonings, the hows, the whys, and what part of the current game plan are you missing. Right. Even game plan is too broad of an idea. I'm hyper granular, as you've seen in my notes. I'll say, after back turned down 2, 4, whatever. After this particular move, what are my options? What can I do? What can they do? Okay, what did they do? If it's not one of the things that I've already thought of and have counters to, add it to the fucking list. And when you think of it that way, it's like, oh, well, of course, eventually you'll get good. Like, half the battle is just figuring out what the hell you need to do. And a lot of people don't do that. And that's how you get stuck at intermediate level or beginner level, but really more intermediate. It's like get stuck at intermediate. And it's hard. It's really, I mean, you those of you who've been watching me play now, this game, those of you who've seen me play BF, you've already seen me go through this process. I was pretty public in that instance too. So you can see old videos of me, not on this channel, but on other channels, uh, for a variety of reasons, of me playing when I was, younger. But and I wasn't very good. I had to get good. Now I'm good in VF, but it took a while. It took a lot of systematic effort, and I got good relatively quickly. Like I didn't. There are players who have been playing much longer than I have that I can consistently beat right now. I attribute that not because I have natural gift or talent. I mean, I have some of that, but that's not why. Because some of these players are really fucking talented too. I attribute it to my approach, which is systematic, detailed, and evidence-based. Basically, the only thing I care about when I'm making a decision about whether a tactic is correct or incorrect, or valuable or invaluable, or worthless, is how did it play out? Did it work? Did this situation work? And if it doesn't work, I don't say, oh, the game's wrong. No, I'm wrong. I clearly don't understand something about the game or about how this is supposed to play out. So I'm going to understand and figure out why. Never say the game is wrong. The game is not wrong. The game is the game. The game is the ref. It's an unbiased ref that doesn't care and is impartial. It just plays by the rules. It's your job as a player to figure out what are the rules and how can you bend those rules. That's where the really cool stuff comes in, and that's where the highest of level stuff comes in, which is where are the gaps? Where are the holes that the programmers didn't really intend to be there, but you found it? That's how Korean Backdash became a thing. They didn't program that shit in there. It was a natural byproduct of the movement system. Those are the kinds of things that I look for when I'm building mix-ups. That's where you create real big skill gaps. A big thing that gets overlooked is that fighting games can be fun on a basic level, but in order to ascend in your playstyle, you need to approach it in a scientific level. Right? Yes. I would add, if you want to ascend your playstyle quickly, and reliably, it's about speed and reliability. Everyone will, if they are systematic and scientific in their approach to improvement, will get better. Everyone will not guaranteed get better if they just keep playing over and over again over a long time. There's no guarantee that will happen. But if you're systematic and scientific in your approach to improvement, and that's what you want to improve, you will improve. You can't not improve. You would have to try astronomically hard to not get better if you're scientifically and systematically examining based off of what's happening in the game and in your matches, and reflecting on that. If you're doing all those things and you're not getting better, I don't know what to tell you at that point. I don't think it's possible. I'd be like, is there something else something else is going on? Because it definitely isn't your approach at that point. But I've never seen that. I've never seen that happen. I've only seen people get better when they do this. Let me read the rest of it. There's a skill gap, but in order to overcome it, there's a learning process that comes with it, and being able to open your mind that helps bridge the gap. Yes, opening your mind. Fighting games are built on the scientific method. Yeah, well, I mean, that's too strong a statement. I wouldn't say that. Like physics exists, right? We exist in a physical environment that has scientific rules that govern its reality that we exist in. Doesn't mean everyone understands it or needs to exist within it or to thrive within it. So there are people like myself who like to know the scientific process behind why these things work the way they do. I'm a scientist. I like that. So it impacts the way I approach things. But everyone doesn't do that, and everyone doesn't need to, nor is it required to get good. I do think, though, if you want a reliable way to get good, that's why we have science. Science is not there because it's just fun to do. It is for some people. It's done because it's reliable. It's a reliable way to increase our knowledge as a species. It's the best method we have. It's not perfect. There are lots of flaws and errors and issues with it, but it's the best we got. And it's reliable. We will, beyond a shadow of a doubt, develop more accurate and better knowledge over time. It's a very solid method, exactly. You want to come up with a theory, experiment on it, and then see the results. And you might find out that it's not working. And you have to be willing to throw out your bullshit idea that you thought was right when you're met with negative results. That's the hard part. That's really hard because sometimes we get really wedded to a certain way of approaching things that just isn't working. It isn't appropriate and is wrong. And that's where a lot of people get frustrated and angry. So I get frustrated sometimes because I think I understand something and then I find that it doesn't work the way I expect it to. And I'm like, damn it, man, fuck. I thought I understood this. And now you got to reevaluate it again. You got to go back over and over and over again. And it's really frustrating. That's where people bounce off. And I truly think for players who are stuck at the intermediate level or stuck at red rank where I am, or Garu rank specifically, because most other players are there, I think it's probably people are there because they just got to that rank and then said, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too sweaty. I'm just going to hold this rank. Which I understand. Totally fair. I get that. But then when you go from Garu to Shinryu and Tenryu, it's a pretty big jump. Like, it's a pretty big drop of players there. And then Shinryu, Tenryu, and Mighty Rulers are about the same, like, skill-wise. So there's this, which means, population-wise, which means that there's a small skill differential between those players. So if you just learn a little bit, like you've already gotten there, you've already gotten to this level, you're already red rank, right? And everyone's about the same skill level if they're in red rank. Everyone has more or less the same amount of flaws and benefits in their play style that got them there. The way you can get to the next level is you have to learn just enough to beat your peers. You're not beating, blue ranks. Those aren't the guys you gotta beat. You gotta beat the guy who's right next to you, who's just a little bit stronger than you or just a little bit weaker than you. That's the person you have to be able to consistently beat. Whenever I see a Garu and I lose to one, right now it's like a Tenryu, or even when I'm getting down to Shinryu status because I lose too many battle rulers or flame lords or flame rulers, whatever. I'm like reminding myself, okay, I'll get back because I have mastered, I think, what I need to stay at this level, to stay above these players. And to get to the next level, I have to just learn a little bit more. So for folks, there's a point where you start hitting the soft ceiling, so to speak. Yes. Yeah, a ceiling is basically you're not getting past this without effort or understanding. Some people are lucky and they just intuitively understand and know. Fantastic. I'm so happy for you. Bless your heart. Or they played older games and they got there. But everyone finds a ceiling. There's a point where things start to get hard, regardless of where that level is. It might be at the knee level, the best of the best, or it might be at my level, which is not that high when it comes to Tekken. Okay. Even in VF, I'm really good at that game, but there are tiers above me in VF as well, which I haven't achieved yet either, and I hope to. Part of why I'm playing Tekken is to help get to those levels. But, shh, don't tell anybody. It's our little secret, okay? But I'm really playing Tekken to get better at Virtual Fighter, but I can't get better at Virtual Fighter at certain things because they're not in the place to play against in certain styles. So I gotta learn in Tekken, basically. But in the process, I'm learning a new game, and it's fun, and I'm enjoying it. My goal isn't really to get really good at Tekken. If I do get good at Tekken, that'd be fun, byproduct of things. But the goal isn't necessarily to get super good. The goal is to get better at Virtual Fighter as a result of what I'm learning by playing and getting better at Tekken. Cross-classing IRL, I respect it. Yeah. Cross-classing in Tekken is way better than cross-classing in a 2D fighter. Because not as much transfers over. There's too much you have to relearn. But a lot transfers over to Tekken. And vice versa, a lot from Tekken transfers over to Virtual Fighter. More transfers over from Tekken to Street Fighter than from Tekken, Street Fighter and Tekken are more alike then Virtual Fighter is to Tekken. I mean, then Virtual Fighter is to Street Fighter. Like if there was a gradation, there'd be Street Fighter, Tekken, and then yeah, with that's kind of the line. Okay, so I think I explained it, my method and why I use it. There's a series of problems, solving them, and rejecting with great prejudice ideas that are not serving you. Do not hold on to them. Let them go. Let them go. And you may ask me, okay, well, Tricky, how the fuck do I know when to let go of the